What up, y'all? Chargers Truther. Just after the AFC and NFC championship games, Super Bowl is going to be the Eagles and the Chiefs. I'm making this video because we just signed new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore from the Dallas Cowboys. Kellen Moore seems to have had success with the Cowboys, but I think he got fired because they fell flat in the playoff game versus the 49ers. Seemed like they weren't up to the expectations that they had for themselves, I guess. And Kellen Moore was the odd man out, I guess. And, we swooped him up. We're going to look at his stats and what I think he brings to the table, what we can expect in the next season. Here I'm drinking just some good old coffee. All right. So I'm just looking at the Cowboys team stats. Looking at their offense last year, they were 4th in points, 11 in yards. Not so good in the passing. Well, still above average. Above average in the passing, and very high with the rushing. 6th or 9th overall in rushing yards and 2nd overall in touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Seems like he, utilizes his run game just as much as his pass game, at least this past year. Looking at his stats over his 4 years in Dallas. His first year, 2019, he had the 1st overall offense in yards. Then he went to 14th, still above average. Then 2021, 1st again, and then at 11th. So he has 2 out of 4 years being the best NFL offense in terms of yards. So, that's pretty incredible, really. He's never had a year below average. Rush, in terms of rush yards, 5th, 17th, 9th, and 9th. So he has pretty balanced. Then the passing, 2nd, 8th, 2nd, and 14th. This guy has really good stats, it seems like. His offense always seems to be above average and sometimes near the top. They threw it 556 times and ran it 531 times. Let's see what we did. We threw it 711 times and ran it 400 times. So you see, that's a big difference. Kellen Moore had a much more balanced offense, and probably it is because they have better run game personnel. 2 very capable running backs, Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, split the carries pretty much in half. Tony Pollard went for 1,000 yards. Elliott went for 876. Let's see what we got. Look how many yards they got. Almost 2,300 yards in the rush game. We had 1,500. We had much less. We had Austin Eckler, 915. Josh Kelly, 287. Herbert threw it, 711 times. Dak threw it 556. That's still quite a bit more. Clearly, you could see our offenses are very unbalanced, passing it almost every other time or whatever, passing it way more than we run it. And look at our average, 3.8. What was their average? 4.3. So they're averaging much better than us too. I truly boil it down to the players that they have too. Not trying to discredit anything from Kellen Moore at all, but you need to have the players, man. Like, good coaches can't do anything without good players. Good players can still play with not so good coaches. But again, you need the players. The players are much more important than the coaches, in my opinion. And that's really what I see that our team has been lacking in the past few years, 2 or 3 years. So, I'm happy with this Kellen Moore pick. He has good offenses. But I'm not here to tell you that this guy is about to solve all of our problems and that our offense, Herbert's going to throw for freaking 10,000 yards or whatever and 40 touchdowns. I'm just going to say that I think that from his experience with the Cowboys, running the ball, having a balanced offense, he's going to, vocalize that when the GM and the coaches and the owners are all in the same room talking about how the direction of this team and how it's going to be constructed. I think he has good experience coming from the Cowboys. to, share with us, and maybe we can take some of these things. Main thing I'm looking at is two beast running backs, Elliott and Pollard. Like, having a team like that with two good running backs rushing for 1,000 yards and 800 and almost 900 yards, two backs rushing for almost 2,000 yards. Like, that's what I'm looking for, really. That's, Eckler is good, but him and Josh Kelly don't stack up to Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. Look at the rush yards. So that's what I'm hoping that he brings, and I think that this was a step in the right direction. I really do, and I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see what happens this year. I look for a more balanced offense this year, and I look to take some pressure off of Justin Herbert. Pretty much, that's my main takeaway from this whole thing. Obviously, in my opinion, Justin Herbert is more capable than Dak. Dak has obviously had more playoff success, that's for sure. But as a quarterback, I think just Justin Herbert is a little better. So we'll see what freedoms that gives Kellen Moore to, just to sculpt the offense how he thinks is best. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm again, just to conclude this all, Kellen Moore, I think was a good signing. He has had a good success in Dallas, and I think that he brings good things to this team. Again, I'm not gonna say he's our savior. He's gonna freaking be so amazing, and we're gonna get so excited because we know how the off seasons usually go for the Chargers. A lot of excitement, and then on the field, it's disappointing pretty much. That's pretty much how I would describe Tom Telesco's 10-year tenure as disappointing. But nobody knows the future. We could still be excited, and I think good things are coming, as long as we scope this roster in a more balanced way, and get more physical, more aggressive, and it takes the right people in the building. So I approve this signing for what that's worth. And I look forward to the season. Let's continue this. Let's get bigger, stronger. Let's get this run game going. Take pressure off Herbert. Get mean on defense, and just fill this out. Patch up our loose ends or whatever, and let's get this Super Bowl. Cheers. Yep. Just chug that coffee. All right, Chargers Truther. I'm out. Thank you.